Business Planning, Section 4, Tracking, pages 17 through 20. Once we have answered our trajectory questions and established our goals, broken those goals down into tasks and given them a defined order using mind mapping, moved that plan into a monthly calendar, then a weekly, then a daily, using the processes of monthly, weekly, and daily planning, we have a tool in front of us to track our progress. When you move your plan during your daily planning session into your planning tool, the items on your plan will move into one of two categories. You will either be identifying an activity as an appointment or a task. The difference between the two is simply this. Appointments are activities in your plan that must be done at fixed times. Tasks are activities in your plan that are flexible, meaning they need to be done that day, but they can be executed at basically the most convenient time throughout the day. Tasks appear on your to-do list. Appointments appear on your schedule. During your daily planning, and your guidebook clearly outlines how this is done, you will have divided all of the things that are now showing up on your list to be done tomorrow, into appointments and tasks. Once you have the two discrete lists, you need to set your daily priorities. Priorities are set by assigning a value code to each activity and an order code to each activity. The traditional value codes, which are universal in nature, are to place everything in your daily plan into one of three categories: A, B, or C. Where A represents must be done, B should be done, and C could be done. Must be done, as it sounds, means before I can end this day, this activity must be managed in some way. Should be done says, if I possibly can, this should happen. If not, it could move forward, but not that much. It is pushing up against deadlines. Could be done is sometimes what we call nice but not necessary, meaning if for some reason, because of other priorities or changes in schedule, this one didn't get done, the primary features of the goal or the activities could still move forward and very little impact would be felt. So you now need to sit down and decide what in your plan is an A, a B, and a C. Then you take the entire category of A's, and you'll likely have more than one, and you have to decide during the day which one will I do first, A1, second, A2, etc. Once all the A's are in the order you want to execute them, you do the same for the B's and the same for the C's. You now have a highly detailed plan. You know which are your appointments, you know which are your tasks, you know which of both appointments and tasks are vital or must be done, which are important, should be done, and which are optional, could be done. And that is what will give you the flexibility to manage the part that you can never plan, which is the unknown and the unexpected. As you're making decisions about the things that come in via text and email and voicemail and changed appointments, canceled appointments, meetings that run long, meetings that don't occur, business referrals that arrive unexpectedly, all that stuff, of course, is critical to your business's success. But you need to measure it, not just be drawn into it. Every time an unexpected arrives, before you commit to it, you should just quickly check your plan and see if you can find a place to slot it in without losing what's planned. If it's not possible to add something new without taking something out that's old, there's a very simple rule. First, remove the C's to free up time. Then, if necessary, move the B's to free up time. But leave the A's alone. If you've done the A's properly, you can't discard them and you can't move them. They are literally must-be-dones. So the only way to accommodate new stuff arriving where you've discarded the C's, moved the B's, and still don't have enough time is you're working late. Now you have to deal with life balance, which is a whole nother discussion. But by definition, to free up time for the unexpected, you first drop the C's. They're could-be-dones. They have very little impact on your overall business success. You then move the B's. Notice what I said. You don't drop the B's. The B's are important, but they have some time flexibility. You can move them till tomorrow. And then if the A's still are there and there's not enough time, you're going to have to simply stretch the amount of time you're going to work. Once you have given your plan these value order codes and you understand how to manage it against the unexpected, now you need to track your plan. Once again, traditionally, there are standardized ways to do this. Electronic tools have these built in. Paper-based tools, you're just going to have to learn the codes. The codes are completed, the check mark, in process, the dot, delegated, the circle, and X, deleted. We have a check mark, a dot, a circle, and an X. As you move throughout your day, whether you're using an electronic or a paper-based tool, you need to track your performance against plan. This will allow you to know what needs to be remanaged the next daily planning session. When you start something but are not yet finished, put a dot next to it. That's a convenient way to, at a glance, know what's underway. For example, you've left an email. When I leave an email, I put a dot. I even have a practice of writing EM next to it to remind myself I've left an email, or VM, a voicemail, or whatever else I've done. TX for a text. And that tells me the loop hasn't been closed here. They haven't got back to me, but at least it's underway. When something is fully completed, you put a check mark next to it. Very often you'll have a check mark over a dot. If you choose not to do it and you have the opportunity to involve another member of our team in helping you, put a circle next to it. That's the signal for delegated or shared. And next to the circle, put the initials of the person who you've asked to help. That serves as a quick reminder, oh yeah, I asked so-and-so to help on this, I need to get back to them. An X indicates that for whatever reason, that activity has been dropped. At the end of the day, you do a quick review of your plan. There are only 3 symbols allowed on a plan at the end of the day. Check mark, completed. X, deleted or dropped. Or arrow, move forward. You cannot end a day with an open circle or a dot because it represents an activity that started but not yet finished that will fall through the cracks until you resolve it. So if at the end of the day there's still a dot next to something, you've got a couple of choices. Are you going to stop right now and finish it so you can turn it into a check mark? Are you going to move it forward to the next day so you can turn it into an arrow? Or are you going to drop it now that you see that it didn't get done today and turn it into an X? With a delegated or shared activity, an open circle, the same thing holds true. You're going to send a message or a text or follow up and see if you can close that loop. If you can, check mark. If you can't, arrow it forward if it needs to be still followed up on and transfer it to the next day or whatever. Or drop it, put an X through it. Notice what's happened in a matter of 4 skill sets. We went from, I want to be successful this year, down through 4 trajectory activities where we got clearly defined goals. We then took those goals and using a process called mind mapping, we drove out a detailed, very detailed plan. We then took that plan and put it through a 3-step process called monthly view, weekly view, daily view. We then, each day, using daily planning, created an appointment schedule for the day and a to-do list for the day. Gave everything on that plan a value code, A, B, or C, and an order. And then, constantly throughout the day, tracked performance using just 4 keys. Check mark, arrow, X, circle, 5, and dot. Check mark, arrow, X, circle, and dot. Dot for in process, circle for delegated or shared, X for dropped or deleted, arrow for move forward, and check mark for done. It is possible, and I can tell you because I started this process in 1983. I have all the records going back to 1983 where I can show you on any given day and any given time in the day exactly what was done, how that day worked out, the balance of check marks, arrows, and X's, how goals move forward, and what was accomplished. Your ability to see your business as these 4 discrete skills, that allow you to funnel down from big picture to daily execution is the secret to your business success. Thank you.